Hello YouTube, I'm going to make my second video on the teardown and lubrication of a Craftsman. This happens to be a teardrop raised panel ratchet. Some people call these the 4th generation ratchets. This is my second YouTube video after my toolbox tour I did a little over a month ago, a couple months ago. So I just want to show you quick teardown and lubrication. I'm going to try to get this ratchet working a little bit better. And this will apply to any one of these styles of ratchets over here. Again, there's your raised panel Craftsman ratchets, or your professional, as they call them. Same mechanisms on these things. You can tell they're all the same. The snap ring design that holds them together. And after you get done, it should be nice and smooth. I know a lot of the Craftsman ratchets have problems being clunky and whatnot. Kind of like what this is right here. This is the problem with this one right now, really loud, and it jams up in reverse. It's locked up in reverse. So I'll go forwards, once in a while I'll go reverse. So we're going to take it apart, clean it up, and see if we can get this working better. I do have a spare pawl just in case I need it. I don't think so. I think just cleaning it up and lubricating it will get us to where we want to be. This will kind of also apply to, this is the older, kind of like they refer to as a 3rd generation raised panel. Snap ring setup is a little bit different, and the pawl setup is a little bit different. You can take this snap ring out of here and pull this apart, similar to the way you can with this, but I wouldn't take the pawl out of these unless you really have to. I lubricated this one up, and it's smooth as silk, and I didn't take the pawl out. But again, this will apply to all these ratchets right here. And just a quick tool rundown I usually use. A lot of guys use the Super Lube. I think this is a good choice to go with. You can use like a light motor oil, or you can use the old 3-in-1 oil, something like that. But I like the Super Lube. It works fine when it's cold or warm. Couple picks, snap ring pliers, and what I use, and I'll show you the trick of getting it back together. There's a couple different ways you can do it. I've tried this on my own. A strip of index card, and I'll show you how that's going to play in a little bit. So again, we'll try to make this quick. I'm going to start off with our snap ring pliers. Get in there, put your snap ring out, just pull the whole mechanism right out. And as suspected, I have not taken this apart. I got this ratchet. We can see this thing is pretty much bone dry. Bone dry. Very simple design, these ratchets. 36 teeth. So yeah, they are notchier than, so your Harbor Freight 72s or whatnot. Matco 88, but it's still a pretty sturdy design. As long as they're lubricated right, they work fine. Put this out maybe with a pick. Pull the pawl out. Just be careful. There's a ball bearing down inside there. The ball bearing right there. It's spring loaded, so be careful when you pull this pawl out. You don't want it to go flying. We're just going to separate this out carefully. Pull the lever out. All ball bearing and spring. Everything looks pretty good. Paw's a little cruddy. You can even use just a little bit of brake clean. I'll put a little bit on a rag. Clean up that paw a little bit. Get some of that. Looks like there was some lubrication on it once upon a time. We're going to clean that out. And I wouldn't have to go too crazy on it, but just inspecting the paw, looking the teeth at it, on it. A little bit worn right there. This paw is definitely in better shape. And while we're here, maybe we'll try the new paw. That is pretty beat. So you might need a ratchet repair kit. We'll go with the new paw. And clean this all up. Try to get as much of the old lubricant, if there is any lubricant in these things. A lot of times they are, again, barely even lubricated from the factory. But over the years, the oil and everything attracts dirt and dust inside there. You can get with your pawl, your pick. Again, there, scrape it down a little bit. Just kind of clean those teeth up best you can. Excuse me, bud. Right here. Right, it's soft, maybe like a brass wire brush. Clean those grooves out. Looks pretty good. One more brake clean real quick. Clean out the inside of your ratchet. I guess the cleaner the better, but I mean, I don't think it has to be surgically clean. Just get the basic junk out of there. See, looking all better already. Acceptable. Make me load that. Now, to reassemble, it's fairly easy. I'll clean the ring here. Get that quick wipe down. Retaining plate. Now, on these Craftsman raised panel ratchets, if you do need to get one of the repair kits, this is a repair kit for one of the 3/8 drive ratchets. There is a difference between the made in USA ratchets, these are all made in USA, or the China made ratchets. Kits are not compatible with each other. You have to use a USA kit and USA ratchet, or a replacement kit for the China ratchet. They don't work together. But again, I'm gonna, being this pawl does look a little beat up. This is a leftover pawl I had from when I redid this ratchet. This one does have a rebuild kit in it. This ratchet and this ratchet right here were both, basically, long story short, were left in a tool kit in the elements. Were both rusted up. I should have took before videos of these, but these two ratchets were completely rusted together. I soaked them in diesel fuel, got them freed up, ordered 2 replacement kits for them. They are buttery smooth. I guess for as much as the ratchets can be. Again, just to give you what these things looked like before, this is the gear setup that was in this ratchet right here. That's how badly rusted this was. This was rusted solid, it didn't even move. So after the repair, that's what we have there. So I think we're pretty well cleaned up on this. Just wiping it down a little bit. Lint off there. So again, the super lube, I like using this. You can use regular grease. I would go a sparing amount with this stuff. Don't go crazy with it. It doesn't need to be gooped really bad. I just kind of put a thin layer on it. I put a little bit on the surface where it mates with the body of the ratchet. A little bit right here too. Kind of where it's making contact, where you think there's going to be friction. Put a nice little layer of grease on it. On this, I usually put a little grease in the body of the ratchet where the pawl goes. Again, don't have to go crazy. I see some guys pack the daylights out of these things. I've tried that method. To me, I think it worked. It started skipping. I took it back apart and cleaned it out and lubed it lightly. It seemed to work much better. Drop your spring in the hole. Sometimes I have the pick. Actually works good for that. Get that in there. Insert that right in the hole. Now what I do, a little more lube. Kind of get the ball set right in there temporarily. It'll hold. Just temporarily, just like that. Stay there for a minute. I'm going to show you guys my trick of how to get these back together. 3x5 index card. I'm going to cut this down a little bit. This is until I've done a few repairs already. Just a strip is all you need. Take the lever, feed that in there, get that in position. Okay, get to one side. This part of the pawl goes down towards the lever. I'll pull it out, see how it fits together real quick. Oh, sorry, backwards. There we go. So it fits together like that. So that's how it goes. So this side will be facing up to you when you're done. So again, put that lever in there, your selector lever. This one has to be one of the plastic ones. It's still holding up. You'll be fine with that. Take a little more of the lube. A little bit on the gears. On top and bottom. Just a little bit, sparingly. Don't have to go crazy with it. Now the tricky part, you need something to be able to depress the ball as you go in. And I got the lever basically kind of going to one direction, one side. You can do this in one shot. This is the trickiest part. You're in. That's all there is to it. I've seen people use paper clips. I would have to suspect from the factory they probably have a very, very thin metal. If you probably have a really, really thin feeler gauge, you might be able to use that in there. It has enough flex to get in there, but these index cards, they're obviously quite cheap and dispensable. That's all you need. Got that working good. Now to drop this in, you have to kind of put it like in a neutral position, in the middle. Just all set up in there. Working good. Here's our cover. Drop that down in there. And my snap ring pliers. Put your snap ring back in. Pick it up to support it. Just make sure that snap ring seat's in there. Don't want to go flying. Before and after. Again, I probably could have went with this pawl. It probably still would have worked, but I didn't like the way the wear was on one side of the pawl. And you can see the teeth over on this side look a little more worn. There's this side, no, this side right here, a little more worn than that side. So that might have been part of the issue, but this thing was bone dry. Now, perfectly fine working ratchet. So obviously I had a spare pawl laying around, but if you don't, you can find the rebuild kits on eBay, usually 15 bucks or less. You know, instead of trading in your USA made Craftsman ratchet for some cheap China piece of junk. Now I know these are not everybody's favorite ratchets, but they still get the job done. You know, this is about a 20-year-old ratchet, 15, 20-year-old ratchet. Now she's working like new. That's it. Easy enough. And again, this applies to any of these ratchets right here. And also very similar to this ratchet right here. Any questions, guys? Drop a comment in the comment section. Give me a like if you liked the video, if you thought it was helpful. And we'll be back at you soon. Thank you very much. Have a good day.